Ukraine's president is also keeping a close eye on the situation in Syria, where Russian forces are engaged. Tonight, the government of President Bashar al-Assad is on the brink of being overthrown by rebel fighters. Led by a former al-Qaeda splinter group, the insurgents stormed Syria's second-largest city last week. And tonight, we're learning they have taken control of two provincial capitals and are amassing in the suburbs of Damascus. Vincent McAviney has more.
A falling statue of former President Hafez al-Assad met with cries of joy on the streets of Damascus. His son, President Bashar al-Assad, hasn't been seen today, but after 13 years of civil war, tonight there are reports he's fled the capital. A military spokesperson has denied this, claiming they're still in control.
The terrorists' media platforms have not stopped publishing misleading videos and fake news about what is happening across Syria's geography.
But rebel groups across the country have seized more and more territory, and they're not finished. From the north and the south of Damascus, they're moving in, with US officials claiming neighborhoods are falling one by one. At a meeting of regional powers, Russia's foreign minister was adamant his country would continue supporting the Assad regime. On the ground, though, there's little evidence of that. This graveyard of Syrian military aircraft in the now captured city of Hama, demonstrating how caught off guard the regime was.
And this is probably the most threatened they have ever been, notwithstanding perhaps 2011 when the revolution first started. At that time, the military clamped down very hard on the revolution, leading to the civil war. But now we are in a position where the regime and, more importantly, its backers are significantly weakened.
Russia failing in Syria is some much-needed good news for Ukraine's President Zelensky in Paris today, meeting with President-elect Trump, who made his foreign policy direction clear, posting, "Syria is a mess, but not our friend, and the United States should have nothing to do with it. This is not our fight. Let it play out. Do not get involved." Millions of Syrians were already facing dire humanitarian conditions, now compounded by an uncertain future.
All kinds of intelligence agencies seem to have been completely taken by surprise by the rebel advance. That is how firmly Assad seemed to be in power. Now we don't know what comes next.
Tonight, there are reports that thousands of Syrian soldiers are crossing into Iraq seeking shelter, that Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard has left Damascus, and that Russian naval assets are leaving their port in the country. After 53 years in power, with old allies fleeing, we may well be witnessing the final hours of the Assad family's rule. Carolyn?
Vincent McAviney in London, thank you. Here's what you need to know about the insurgent fighters in Syria. Their group, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, known by its acronym HTS, began as an offshoot of al-Qaeda and has long been involved in fighting the Assad regime. HTS's leader, Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, has tried to remake their image by cutting ties with al-Qaeda, removing hardline officials, and promising to embrace religious tolerance. However, Assad's regime considers HTS a terrorist organization, a view shared by the United States, the UN, and Canada.